My name is Carol Malasig and we're here at Almost Diplomatic. Good morning, everybody. Well, we are off to an adventure today, a solo weekday adventure. We are currently in Tokyo Station and we are off to Nagoya. So I'm making this quick day trip, even though the weather today is pretty dismal, just because I think this might be the only free day that I have to finally visit the Sailor Moon Museum in Nagoya. So fingers crossed everything goes well, no train cancellations and whatnot. And yeah, I'm so excited. I missed the Sailor Moon exhibits in Roppongi and in Osaka, so now I'm finally going to the one in Nagoya. This is going to be the last one. They haven't announced if they're going to be having another one in the future, so I really need to make it to this one. Okay, so I asked a question over on Instagram if anybody has some recommendations for me here in Nagoya, especially for food, coffee, and a whole lot of other stuff. I've been getting a lot of recommendations to try out the chicken wings at Yama-chan, so that is exactly what I'm doing now. I am pumped after that coffee. Wow, that was so good. That one I just researched on the internet while I was here, and it did not disappoint. QOL Coffee in Nagoya. Really, really good coffee. They have their own roastery, so always a good sign. It's a 700-meter walk from the coffee shop to the nearest Yama-chan, and there are so many Yama-chans apparently. At first I was like, maybe I should just get it at the station because there are, I think, around 5 or 7 in the vicinity of Nagoya Station. But I'm thinking, eat here, get a loop going to the station so that I see more of the city instead of being underground, and then from there maybe I can have another meal, because why not? Why not, right? So it's the day after my visit to Nagoya and me seeing finally the Sailor Moon exhibit, and it was such a fun day. I'm so tired. I don't know if you could hear it in my voice and you could see it. I'm so tired. My eyes were so dry. I couldn't even wear contact lenses, so I'm back to glasses today. And yeah, the whole journey was long. It was comfortable, but I feel like, I don't know, if I was younger, I wouldn't have had any problems, but I'm in my mid-30s, okay? I feel like I'm gonna need a little bit more energy from now on in doing these kinds of things. It was a little crazy, it was very spontaneous, but yeah, I'm glad I went. I'm just really tired today, and I have a lunch to get to in a bit, so we're gonna make this as quick as possible. First of all, I want to show you the haul that I got at the merch store. So one thing about the Sailor Moon Museum's Nagoya stop is that sadly it doesn't have a Sailor Moon cafe unlike the one in Osaka. I can't remember exactly if the one here in Tokyo had one, the one in Roppongi, but the one in Osaka had one. And still, it was worth the trip, I would have to say. I really enjoyed the museum part. As for the merch, a lot of the stuff that you will see for sale are actually available at the Sailor Moon store in Harajuku. So if you live in Tokyo or if you're spending time in Tokyo, you could probably get some of the other things there as well. But there is one thing that is a Nagoya exclusive. And it's this one. This is the Meiji almond chocolate. So basically it's a chocolate with an almond at the center. And this is available all over Japan. In every konbini you enter, you will find this. There's even a hazelnut version. There's also a macadamia version, which I personally like better. But this one, of course, is special because it has Sailor Moon in front, and not just that. And inside, there is a card. You can either get design A or design B, so it's also a blind. You want to be able to collect both, but then the problem is it's only one box of chocolate per visitor. So they'll check your ticket at the end of your visit when you're at the merch store. They'll check if you have one ticket, and then you can only get one almond chocolate box. So it would be better if you go with a friend. You can both get one, and then you can exchange cards if you like the one that the other one got. But seeing I was alone, then I only have one chance to get the card that I actually like. So let's try this. Alright, so I'm gonna open this now. I hope I don't ruin the box. Slowly. So this is basically a box sleeve. Come on. And the almond chocolate inside is actually what you get at the konbini or the donkey or any grocery store here in Japan. So this is the one that has the Sailor Moon branding on it. And this is the card that I got. I'm so happy because this is actually the card that I wanted. I have a photo next to the artwork that features this particular version of Sailor Moon at the Sailor Moon Museum. So yay, got lucky with my first blind. And another thing that I got is this. So this is a piece of cloth that you can use to clean electronics, particularly your phone screen, laptop screen. It also works on your glasses. So this is something that is very useful, and it has the logos of the different seasons of Sailor Moon. So there, that's the pattern. I can even use it for like my camera lenses, watch faces. It's very useful, and I feel like I'll get another one real soon. So yeah, basically it's just this piece of cloth. This was 400 yen. I know. It's such a practical piece of like a souvenir, but I really wanted something that I can use and something that is pretty but also doesn't shout like, oh, I'm a big Sailor Moon fan. Not that I'm not proud, because I am, but I wanted something that's a little bit more subtle, if you know what I mean. I can bring this around, I can put this in my bag and then just clean my glasses, especially like today I'm going out with my glasses on, which is something I don't normally do, but here we are. And lastly, I got 2 more blinds. These are from the pin series. They have these golden pins that are the logos for each of the different seasons, and as you all know, my favorite season is Sailor Stars, and I'm hoping that either one of these 2 has that. I really hope I'm lucky again. Are we ready? This is the Sailor Moon Museum pin. Okay, I don't feel so bad. It's not the season that I wanted. It's not the Sailor Stars logo, but still, it's pretty fun. It has the Sailor Moon silhouette, and it's in gold. My last chance for the Sailor Stars logo. If not, I'll probably look for it at the Sailor Moon store in Harajuku. Last chance. 1, 2, 3. I got Sailor Moon R, which isn't so bad. I also like Sailor Moon R. Well, I love every season. It's just that Sailor Moon Sailor Stars is my favorite. So I guess the next time I drop by Harajuku, if it's available there, I'll probably get a few more and then just try my luck. This is my version of gambling, buying Sailor Moon blinds and just really enjoying myself. So a few more thoughts on the museum. I really enjoyed my time there. The artwork, especially in the rooms that we were not allowed to take videos or photographs of, were just stunning. I've been a fan of Naoko Takeuchi since I was very young, since the 90s. Of course, my favorite is still the 90s anime. I did watch Sailor Moon Cosmos on the way back from Nagoya to Tokyo because it was finally out on Netflix with English subtitles, thank goodness. And so I watched it on the way back, episode 1, and then when I got home I watched episode 2. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed watching the movie, although still my heart belongs to the 90s version, the 1996 Sailor Moon Sailor Stars season. Since it was a series, the characters were given enough time to develop their characters. Like, you really fall in love with each of the characters, especially the new ones like the Sailor Stars during the 90s in the anime. And even in the manga, it kind of makes you feel confused whether or not, of course, everybody roots for Mamoru and Usagi to get together. Mamoru, who's Tuxedo Mask, right? And everybody knows it's destined. However, for a little bit there, you join in on the confusion of like, hey, wait, you know, if he's gone, might as well go for Seiya, right? And in a world with no Chibi Moon, like, wouldn't that be so nice? Just kidding. I'm not a big fan of Chibi Moon. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. I feel like she's cute and everything, but she's just not the nicest kid to her mom's like previous self, which is out of the question. I know she's a well-loved character, but since I am a big Sailor Moon fan, I love Usagi. I feel like I cannot tolerate any type of slander against her, and Chibiusa just does that all the time. Like, she's such a little a little brat. She's a brat. Okay, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chibi Moon. But I digress. So I feel like I really wanted more of the three lights and the interaction with Sailor Moon. That would have been lovely. And another thing about the museum, the clothes were stunning. Seeing the costumes from the musicals, that was just wow for me. I love fashion. Naoko Takeuchi has always been influenced by fashion, like real life fashion, for the clothing in Sailor Moon. And you see a lot of that influence on her, not just in the artwork, but also in the costumes that were created for Sarah Mew, which is the musical. And the merch collection, that was just, it makes me feel so bad that I wasn't a little girl who grew up in Japan back in the 90s, because I felt like I would have collected everything, especially the supplements that came with the Kodansha Nakayoshi magazines. So pretty. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I know time travel is a messy sort of business. We see that in Sailor Moon all the time. But if I could time travel, that's one thing I would do. I would go back to the 90s and then just swoop up all the Sailor Moon merch from back then. And one more thing, I really enjoyed hearing Nagare Boshihe, the song by Three Lights in Sailor Moon Cosmos. It was given like a more modern and like remixed feel. Although personally, I was also quite sad that we did not get to hear Todoka no Omoi, if I'm saying that correctly, Todoka no Omoi. It's Seiya's solo song, and it's about unrequited feelings between her and Usagi. Yeah, it's such a good song. If you guys could find it on the internet, I suggest that you listen to it. It's really giving like 90s-ish anime. If you grew up in the 90s and you loved J-pop, it's something that you would enjoy. I swear. It's also giving a little bit of an 80s flair. Trust me on that. Just listen to it. Okay, maybe a part of me is also fine with them not using the song for the new movie just because it stays that way. It stays original. I now sound like someone who's very opposed to change. I'm not saying that Sailor Moon Cosmos shouldn't have been made, that maybe Sailor Moon Crystal shouldn't have happened. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I wanted a movie that ended the 90s anime as well. I think that's something that people like me would pine for. People like me who grew up in the 90s, who really enjoyed the anime. Maybe that's something that we would all be wishing for. And it might never happen, but, you know, in the off chance that it does, right? I'm gonna be very happy. Of course, the drawings are gonna be different, but if the story is gonna be in the same vein, if it's given the same treatment as the 90s anime, that would just be such a dream come true. But hey, we take what we can get, and I still enjoyed Sailor Moon Crystal, Eternal, Cosmos, and everything that came out. It's just that I'm not a very big remake person. I still go back to, oh, that's the building! That's the building! That's okay, I'm gonna talk about that later, but that's one of the buildings that I see from our neighborhood, and it's just... So as I was saying, I'm not a big remake person, and I will probably always hold a torch for the 90s anime, to the point that whenever I want to watch something casually, if I want it in Japanese, I turn on my computer and then I look for the 90s version of the Sailor Moon anime, particularly the last season, which is Sailor Stars. I always go back to it. And I think I speak for fans like me who grew up in the 90s that a lot of us really fell in love with Sailor Moon because of how progressive the storyline is. You've seen blended families, a lesbian couple, people who transform from male when they're human and then they become Sailor soldiers who are female later on. And there are just so many progressive themes in the show, in the manga, talking about love, friendship. Mamoru Chiba, Tuxedo Mask, is a feminist. It is such a feminist show, and while people would argue that it fails the Bechdel test, for that time, especially in the 90s, it is such a feminist show. I have to watch the whole thing. And yes, they talk about boys, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of moments where she just daydreams about her boyfriend, but at the end of the day, Sailor Moon is a feminist show. And for the 90s, it was such a progressive anime. I love it. I still love it to this day. And another part that's so thrilling for me while watching Sailor Moon Cosmos is seeing a lot of the familiar places to me now, especially that I live in Tokyo. So many familiar places can be seen in Sailor Moon Cosmos. Of course, also in the 90s version, but it's been quite some time. It's been a few decades, so there have been some changes. But now with Sailor Moon Cosmos, you see that even the landscape has been updated. There are certain buildings that while walking around our neighborhood, I see them, and then I see it in the movie. Like, for example, this park where Chibi Chibi lands, it's there. I could go there today if I want to. Even this ship thing that's like a playground, I know exactly where it is, and it just gives me so much happiness, you know. It feels like I'm really living in her world, living the dream, honestly, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm gonna have to cut this here. I'm quite late for the lunch that I have to go to, but I will see you guys again soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for geeking out with me over Sailor Moon, and I'll see you again soon. Till then, keep it classy, everybody.